Good morning, class. So we actually have survived week one and we are in week two. I think week one was 95% successful for most. I think the only hiccups we had is some of us who decided to do everything on Friday found that there were quite a bit of things that they missed for the observation report that might have been corrected if they had done sort of practice examples within the VoiceThread presentation. But I think that's fine. I think most of you have said that this is your first writing intensive online course. So the fact that you're learning about sort of time management and giving yourself time to practice writing, I think it's good to learn that now before you enter the various programs that you're going to be a part of. So, anyhow, this week we're going to be focusing on the literature review. Now, the literature review is a really important writing um, artifact that you are all, whether you're business, whether you're nursing, whether you're speech, you are all going to have to submit various kinds of literature reviews for your program. So for me, it's really important that I see that you completely understand what a literature review requires. So I just want to walk you through a couple of things that you need to do between now and January 13th 11:59 p.m., which is the next deadline. So, here we go. You're going to go to week by week. You're going to click on week 2 and then you're going to see all of this, right? So, you're going to be reading 3 articles and voila, the 3 articles for this week have to do with poop, which is really exciting for maybe some of you. Um, it's really about fecal transplants, which is this new phenomenon that I read about and I thought was interesting. But you'll notice that the type of article it is very different than what we read last week. Last week, a lot of you wonderfully noted that the essays were sort of very short story in style. It was engaging because there was this description um, and just I feel like it was maybe an easier read than the 3 articles that we're going to be reading for this week. And I say that because fecal transplantation, um, fecal transplants are life saving, but how these 3 articles are giving you a lot of data. So it's also important that you take the numbers that are being given to you, the statistics that are being given to you, and ask questions of them. Okay, so first you're going to be reading these 3 articles. Then you're going to be going into our voice thread and commenting on 3 slides. Now, you'll notice that the kinds of comments you have to give for this week's voice thread are going to be a little more substantial than last week's. Last week, some of you might have just introduced yourself and sort of answered a question here and there about why you're here and what you hope to learn. This week, because now I know all of you, the 3 comments need to be more substantial. I give you sample writings you can read and sort of tell me what's being argued. And I really hope that I encourage you to try to comment um, on these slides so that you get practice. I'm going to go in later tonight, Wednesday, and then Friday to give comments so that if you're struggling, I can let you know ahead of time. Okay, so far we have reading these 3 articles, commenting 3 times within the week two's voice thread, and then you're going to comment once within the discussion forum. Quite a few of you have commented several times last week, which I think is wonderful. I'm kind of in love with this class, even though I don't see you face to face, in that the enthusiasm, I can feel it, even though I'm not seeing it face to face. You can comment as many times as you want in this discussion forum, but for those of you who are just interested in what you have to do to get credit, you only have to respond to one prompt, right? 150 to 200 words. And you'll see the different prompts when you I'll click on it maybe in a couple of seconds. So you're doing that, and then you're submitting a literature review. Now, this literature review is a little different than your first assignment because it has to be 3 pages. So please give yourself time to do this. It's going to be a 3-page literature review on any topic that you choose. So as you're thinking about this assignment, you might want to just sort of give the ideas that, or let us know what topic you're interested in the VoiceThread presentation, so that maybe me or a colleague can sort of help you narrow it down. Yes? Okay, and then finally, I wasn't sure if all of us knew this, but in the helpful material folder, you'll find the actual PowerPoint that I'm using in the VoiceThread. You'll find some APA information. You'll find sample lit reviews. In last week's folder, this is also where you could have found sample observation reports. I recommend looking at these sample literature reviews because the samples I give have received A's. So if you're really curious about, well, what does DW want? Like, I don't understand how I can get an A in her class. I give you the samples that have gotten A's so that you can sort of see what writing techniques they're using, and sort of also how clean their APA style is. Okay, I just want to do as I promised. You'll see that there are 3 discussion forum prompts. You're again only answering 1. All of them are related to a literature review technique. So here I'm asking you to identify a common idea. That's something you have to do for a literature review. Here, I'm asking that you summarize and evaluate one article, again, something you have to do with the literature review. And here, I'm asking you to summarize and evaluate another article, again, something you have to do for your literature review. Please note, you can pick whatever topic you want for your literature review. You cannot pick fecal transplantation, okay? And that's just because we're using it as a practice. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Now is also the time that I recommend you start working on the grammar exercises. And just as a reminder, these are where the grammar quizzes exist. But if you also go to our week by week, you'll find that I have given you grammar information that you should review before you take all of these quizzes. In other words, in this packet, I give you information on run-ons, possessive, subject, verb, gerunds, and infinitive, so and prepositions. So if you are feeling like you're not doing so well on these quizzes, maybe you want to take a look at these review packets before. All right, I am so hopeful that we're going to have a wonderful week. Remember, pacing was an issue for some of you last week, so let's make that a priority this week. Let's try to do little by little instead of everything on Friday. And again, if you have questions, I'm here.